Hello everyone, Laura here from Kotaku UK. I'm here today with Rich Stanton. Hello Rich.
Hello, Rich.
And today we're here to talk about a game that I got to play a couple of days ago called Code Vein, which you've been sifting over all of my words about that game, so
I
guess
have
you
been
have
sifting
you have
over.
like
You're really okay.
I guess at this point you've got a vague idea of what's going on.
Yeah, indeed. I didn't actually know much about Code Vein before you started telling me about it. Obviously, I know quite a lot about Souls, but I was aware of this game's developed by a studio called Shift, Japanese studio. Bandai Namco are publishing it, and Shift's most notable previous work is a game called God Eater. I think you said something very sharp about their business model just before we started.
Yeah, I was making an observation that this developer seems to be very good at taking existing franchises and basically making their own anime versions of them. Because, like, God Eater is anime Monster Hunter. This seems to be anime Dark Souls. It's just take a Western presentation idea and stick an anime coat of paint over it.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that here. I mean, the Souls similarities are quite obvious. I am loving the gear, though. Whatever this guy's rocking.
Yeah,
the
this sort of
Castlevania
like,
cape.
yeah, his like one-side cape that only goes over one shoulder. So this design you're seeing for the protagonist is not a set design. Apparently, you can just custom create the character at the start. So I'm excited for any character creator that lets me dress up like this sort of slightly edgy, cool anime teenager.
It's pretty cool. It's actually very like one of the Bloodborne costumes, which is quite interesting. It's the Cainhurst armor set, and it has almost exactly the same style of cloak as that.
It's very similar, but just with like more black and sort of glowing red lines on it and things.
Yeah, and with them, I guess one of the interesting things about this is we always talk about Souls-likes in terms of obviously the Souls games, but one of the things you were talking about in your preview is that this has guns in it, which is obviously a bit more Bloodborne. Do they work in the same way?
They work in a slightly different way. So I literally just picked up a gun from that chest that was opened in the video, and I'll be equipping it in a second, I think. I've only had experience with this one gun, which is a bayonet, and it simultaneously is both a melee weapon and a gun. If you use your light attack, it will be a sort of short-range melee weapon. It's not as strong as either of the swords I had equipped. Your heavy attack button becomes the fire the gun button, and it basically just takes 1 point of the magic gauge, which if you look in the bottom right, it's that sort of 10 out of 12 gauge.
I see it.
Now it's down to 9, down to 8. Each shot just takes up 1 point of that magic gauge. I think the intention there is basically so that you cannot do everything at range. Like, every now and then you'll need to get to go in close because you've got to do close melee attacks to build that gauge back up.
You're doing a fairly good job doing stuff at range there, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm down to like 3-4 bullets left. Like, I'm gonna run out of ammo in a second, and you'll see in this footage I didn't quite yet understand how bullets worked, so there's a point where I'll go up to an enemy and I'll be trying to fire and just nothing shooting because I have no magic left. So
I did notice in the menus that this weapon is called the Regicide Bayonet, which is rather grand.
the names are a little bit over the top. But yeah, that's fair to say. So yeah, I'm now out of ammo, as you can see on there, which I can't remember how long it is until you see me fail to shoot, but have a look, you can also swing it round because it's a bayonet. It's quite cool.
Very stylish. I'll tell you what else is over the top, your companion's amazing hat. And I guess we should talk about companions as well, because that seems to me the big thing that this adds to the Souls formula, if you like.
Yeah, the big thing that's different here is, like, in your sort of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and games like that, you can find companions who will be summonable into certain fights. Like the big example, what's his name? Siegfried, the Onion Knight. That, like, if you do
Siegmeyer,
certain...
isn't it?
Siegmeyer. I knew it was something along those lines. Siegmeyer.
You were thinking too operatic.
Yeah, but Onion Knight guy. Basically, if you fulfilled certain criteria, you could summon them into boss battles with you, and they somewhat trivialized bosses. Here, you always have an NPC. You can swap them out. I couldn't do so in the demo, but I'm assured that you can swap them out for other NPCs. And all of the fights and the boss battles are sort of leveled and set up to be difficult even with a companion. So they're sort of built with you having a companion in mind rather than that trivializing everything.
Yeah, I like that idea because it's a strange thing with the Souls games. Some of the bosses are clearly designed with multiple players in mind, and other ones aren't, and the ones that aren't just get absolutely rinsed when you go in there with multiple players, and it's not much fun. And very few of them can really live with, especially when you bring in human players.
Yeah. Well, the best opportunity you'll get to see that is after we die on this attempt, you end up seeing a run through the boss.
That was sexy.
So
what did you just do there?
So that big charged up move is how you get magic back. As you watch, sort of, it takes a second to do. You do a big long lurch. Didn't hit that time, but if you do hit, what will happen is not only do you recover some of your magic gauge, but the top number of your magic gauge increases as well. So if you watch out in a second when I successfully pull it off, I'll go up to out of 16 rather than out of 14 now. I think 20 is the max in this demo that I could get for, like, number of magic points to spend, but yeah, that's sort of how you regain your magic, is trying to pull off one of those slow melee attacks.
Very nice. Do you have to charge it up all the way to do it?
You do, unfortunately, which this was something I struggled a bit with the timing initially, is, yeah, if you let go too early, you get something like that where just no attack happens.
Good old Mia.
The easiest way, and it was slightly cheap, was occasionally I'd just sort of stand on the edge of the zone that the enemy didn't want to come past, and then charge up from there.
Oh dear, this
I know,
classic Souls. Let's hope that's
Yeah.
not in the final game too much.
But if you look in the bottom right, you see those sort of triangles with the symbols on them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are basically like, you can swap those out in the full game, but they are magic abilities that you can spend that magic gauge on. So there are other things other than bullets that you can use magic for. I will point out what some of those are in a second, because they've all just whited it out, so I now can't explain what they are. We'll get there.
I quite like the idea of just rocking up to a room of monsters with a rifle and shooting them from up high. It seems sensible, you know?
Yeah, if you've got the magic to do it. So if you see that one on the sort of left hand of the top diamond that's not whited out, for one magic point at any time, you can target an enemy and basically aggro them from a distance so they come over to fight rather than you having to fight them in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
why have you got a gas mask on?
I don't know, that was just how the character was designed in the demo I played. I assume that's a cosmetic item of some kind. But yeah, there's an item in Dark Souls that can aggro. What was it? You threw a stone at them or something
pebble.
to aggro them to you?
Quite
Pebble?
thrilling.
Yeah, this is basically a rechargeable equivalent of pebbles that I just cast it on that guy, and now he's going to come fight me alone. Or he should do. There he comes.
Come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly.
Allow me to murder you from a distance, please. I'm still getting used to this Dark Souls-like.
Oh god, things got a bit dicey there.
Yeah, they did indeed.
Oh,
there we
nice.
go. Hooray, big draining charge attack.
The Wolverine finisher.
So I think it's not long now before we go and do the boss, because this was like the big room at the start of the demo that I initially was struggling with. You see that big thing in the distance?
I do.
It is an enemy of some kind, and it makes very quick work of me. I didn't realise when I aggroed it, it has a giant axe.
Oh, oh dear.
It's deceptively fast as well.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it's... as you might have noticed at some points, I have 0 health right now, but it's not said game over yet, because...
Mia's around.
Yeah, Mia's around. She didn't revive me in time, that's why I got my game over.
Well, she got you up once, but...
She did, yeah. She revived me once, but I was not doing a good job of, like, giving her the space needed to revive me again.
Yeah, Meat Monster wasn't having much of that.
So this is jumped a little bit ahead in the demo to fighting the boss of the demo, and very much like Dark Souls, here's an arena, you can see a boss. If you walk over this threshold, there's going to be a fog wall you can't walk back from. Fight the boss.
Yeah, a real change in scenery though. You know, this kind of concrete cityscape, that's not very Souls-like at all.
No, there is some really nice scenery that just... It's very different from the whole medieval fantasy Europe sort of thing that you always get with Dark Souls. So if you look at the bottom right of those diamonds again, I have 2 different abilities activated in this fight. the shield is basically just increased defense for both me and Mia. The sword with the lightning bolt is an electrified sword that goes through armor more effectively, which for this boss was very useful. It might look like I'm doing okay in this fight. I think I fought this boss over and over for about an hour before I beat it. It took some doing. Right now it doesn't seem particularly tough.
I mean, he looks pretty tough to me. Shades of the Pursuer, I think.
If you look at the health bar at the top for the boss, you see those sort of white lines about a third of the way through? Those are basically when the boss phase changes and it gets new moves to use. So those sort of are a nice visual signifier of when you reach this point, new moves are going to happen and it's probably going to get worse.
Oh, some lovely stabby there though. Uh-oh, run away!
Run
away, Laura!
This was me like 3 days ago, I can't help it now. So yeah, like, as you can see, having Mia there to draw aggro gave me some space to, like, work out what to do. Now that I'm drawing aggro, Mia's got some space. There's a nice back and forth trading of, like, I need to heal, I'll let him focus on Mia for a moment. The back and forth is really nice.
Yeah, you can see that rhythm here, it's working very nicely, isn't it?
As long as one of you is alive, if you look on the sort of the diamonds again, the one that looks like two hearts interlinked is your revive, that I think it costs 2 magic points to use, so as long as one of you stays alive and has a little bit of magic, you should be able to revive the other one nice and quick, if you're not being too attacked to do it. See,
the delay on that's killer.
It took some getting used to the timing of that, of like when to make the leap. So as you might notice here, the frame rate really takes a bit of a hit, at least in this build, when this area of effect attack is being used. It wasn't too bad that time, but there's one time where it hits me, and the frame rate just chugged. So, I'm watching out for that and hoping that it's, I got a bit stuck in a corner there, didn't I?
Good old Mia saved you again. Yeah, well,
exactly.
It's, you know, it's not like the Souls games have never had frame rate problems, but I think at this stage it's just a case of it being such an early build.
Yeah, like that's always the thing, because this isn't. Yeah, see that frame rate there?
Yeah.
This isn't due out until some nebulous point in 2018, and because they've not said when in 2018, I would guess quite late, probably. So let's hope that that's something that gets fixed. But there we go. Beat the boss.
That is some real English there. What did it say? Great loss has dispersed.
Yeah, maybe that's what they call bosses. I was hoping I could pick this big sword thing up, but I didn't seem to be able to. And there the thing fades out. So you're probably just seeing a static image now while we wrap this up. But that was Code Vein. I'm really into it. Like, I don't think trailers did this game justice. It feels really fun.
It looks very slick indeed. I have one kind of very specific Souls-y question, which is that combat system is kind of built around the parries. Is there a parry type move in it?
There is a parry and a block. I was not very good at the parry, so I continued to just use dodges, which is honestly how I play Dark Souls anyway. But there is a parry there, and it did seem to function very similarly to Dark Souls 3, which is like my main comparison point for parries in this kind of game.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty hot, I have to say. Congratulations on completely pwning that boss.
Yeah, I could have lied and pretended I did it first time, but no, that was quite a difficult boss. I'm totally good at video games.
He won't be messing with Kotaku UK again.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We've got a couple more videos up. Subscribe to the channel. Oh god, I'm doing that YouTuber thing, aren't I? Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye, folks.